Bright Tuty. Every student matters.
Let's solve some try these question now. Okay, so round off the given numbers to the nearest tens, hundreds and thousands. Okay, so what we have to do is we have to round off the numbers to the nearest tens, hundreds and thousands as per the instruction given. Okay, so the first number is 75847. Okay, so we have to round it off to the nearest 10. Okay, so 75,847, when we have to round off to the nearest 10, then it will be 75,850. Why? Because 7 is closer to 10 as compared to 0. Now next number is 75,847. Now we have to round it off to the nearest hundreds. So when we have to round off to the nearest hundred, we know that from 1 to 49, when we have to round off to the nearest hundred, from 1 to 49, we round it off to 0 because they are closer to 0. And from 51 to 99, we round it off to 100. So 75847, we will round it off to 75,800. Okay, right. Now if we have to round off to the nearest thousands, now about 1000, from 1 to 499 we round it off to 0, and from 501 to 999 we round it off to the 1000. So it is 75847. So it is 847, which is nearer to 1000. So what are we going to round this off to? So we will make this 76,000. Okay, right. Now we have to round it off to the nearest 10,000. Now since it is 5,847, so when we talk about rounding off to the nearest 10,000, so it applies, the same rule is applied here also. That is, from 1 to 4,999, we round it off to the nearest, we round it off to 0, and from 5,001 to 9,999, we round it off to 10,000. So this is 5,847, which is greater than 5,001. So we are going to round this off to the nearest 10,000, that is to 80,000. Okay, so this will be rounded off to 80,000. All right. So I hope that you have understood all these things very well so far. Okay, now let's do some more estimation now. Now estimating outcomes of number situations. How do we add numbers? We add numbers by following the algorithm, that is the given method. So how are we going to add numbers? We add numbers by following the algorithm systematically. We write the numbers taking care that the digits in the same place, we write the numbers taking care that the digits in the same place, that is ones, tens, hundreds, etc. are in the same column. For example, 3946 plus 6579 plus 2050. How can we write these? Okay, so we have got ones, tens, hundreds and thousands. So when we have to write this, we will write this as 3946 plus 6579 plus 2050. So what have we done? We have written all ones in the same column, all tens have been written in the same column, all hundreds have been written in the same column, and all thousands have been written in the same column. Okay. Now we add the column of ones, and if necessary carry forward the approximate number to the tens place, as would be in this case. Okay. So if I'm going to add this, so 6 plus 9 is 15. So I'm going to write 5 over here and carry over 1 to the tens place. Okay. We then add the tens column, and this goes on. Complete the rest of the sum yourself. This procedure will take time. So let us complete this now. Now we are going to add the tens. So 4 plus 7 is 11, and 11 plus 5 is 16, and 16 plus 1 is 17. So I am going to put 7 in the tens place and then carry over 1 over here. Now 9 plus 5 is 14, and 14 plus 1 is 15. So I am going to write 5 over here and then carry over 1 will come here. Now 3 plus 6 is 9, and 9 plus 2 is 11, and 11 plus 1 is 12. So I am going to put 12. Okay. So this becomes 12,575. Now, there are many situations where we need to find answers more quickly. For example, when you go to a fair or the market, you find a variety of attractive things which you want to buy. You need to quickly decide what you can buy, okay? So when you go to a fair or a market, you quickly want to decide what all things you want to buy. So you need to estimate the amount you need. It is the sum of the prices of things you want to buy, okay? Now, a trader is to receive money from two sources. The money he is to receive is rupees 13,569 from one source and 26,785 from another, okay? He has to pay 37,000 to someone else by the evening. He rounds off the numbers to their nearest thousands and quickly works out the rough answer. He is happy that he has enough money. Do you think he would have enough money? Can you tell without doing the exact addition or subtraction? Okay, so the trader is going to get 13,569 from one source and 26,785 from another source, okay? Now, if I round it off to the nearest thousand, then he is going to get 14,000. So 13,569, if I round this off to 1,000, this will be 14,000. And 26,785, if I round this off to 1,000, this will be 27,000. So 14,000 and 27,000, this will be 41,000. And he has to pay 37,000 to someone. So he can easily pay 37,000 to that person. Okay. Now, Sheila and Mohan have to plan their monthly expenditure. They know their monthly expenses on transport, school requirements, on groceries, milk, clothes, and also on regular expenses. This month, they have to go for visiting and buying gifts. They estimate the amount they would spend on all this and then add to see if what they have would be enough. Would they round off to thousands as the trader did? Okay. So, now we have got Sheila and Mohan. Okay. Now, they have their monthly expenses on transport, school requirements, groceries, milk, clothes, regular expenses, etc. Now, they have to visit some place. Okay. And they want to buy gifts. Now, they also want to find out whether the amount of money they have is enough for all the expenses that they have, and whether they can spare some amount of money for visiting and for buying gifts. So, how are they going to round off? Now, that depends on the amount they have. Okay, so if we have got larger amounts, we round off to nearest 1,000, 10,000, etc. If we have got smaller amounts, then we round off to tens and hundreds. Now, Sheila and Mohan are according to me, they will round off to nearest hundreds. Okay, now think and discuss 5 more situations where we estimate sums or remainders. So this is a homework for you guys. You have to discuss and you have to come with 5 more situations where you do this rounding off thing. Okay, now there are no rigid rules when you want to estimate the outcomes of numbers. The procedure depends on the degree of accuracy required and how quickly the estimate is needed. Okay. The most important thing is how sensible the guessed answer would be. Now, suppose if I am talking about, if I am talking about 26,785 and 13,569. Now, I want to round it off to nearest lakhs. Now, in that case, they will be both 0 because they are less than 50,000. So, if I round them off to nearest lakh, they will be 0. So, in that case, the amount of money that the trader will get will be 0. So, it will make no sense. So, rounding off has no particular rule or any particular sense that it should be done in this way only. But then we need to put some sense in that and round it off in a way so that the amount that we get or the approximation that we do is very near to the accurate value. Okay, so it has to be done very sensibly. Okay, I hope you understand this. Now, estimating sum or difference. Now, let's see about estimating sum or difference. As we have seen above, we can round off a number to any place, right? The trader rounded off the amounts to the nearest thousands and was satisfied that he had enough. So, when you estimate any sum or difference, you should have an idea of why you need to round off and therefore the place to which you want to round off. Okay, so it is very important. This is a very sensible decision that we should make when we are trying to round off things. Now look at the following examples. Now here we have got some examples like estimate 5,290 plus 17,986. Okay, so you have to find the sum of these two numbers. This is 5,290 and 17,986. Now, we know that 17,986 is greater than 5,290, right? Now, round off to 1,000. Let's round this off to 1,000. So, 17,986 rounded off to 1,000 will give me 18,000, and 5,290 rounded off to 1,000 will give me 5,000, okay? Now, estimated sum is 23,000. Now, does the method work? You may attempt to find the actual answers and verify if the estimate is reasonable. So, let's try and find out the actual answer. Okay, so it is 17,986 plus 5,290. So, let's add this. 6 plus 0 is 6, 8 plus 9 is 17, so 7 carry over 1. 9 plus 1 is 10 and 10 plus 2 is 12, so 2 carry over 1. 7 plus 1 is 8 and 8 plus 5 is 13, so 3 carry over 1 and 1 plus 1 is 2. So this is 23,276 and the answer we got is 23,000. So it is so close to the exact answer, you can see it. So rounding off is very sensible, but then it should be done sensibly, meaning to say that we should know or we should understand to what number we should round it off to, whether we should round it off to tens, or hundreds or thousands or 10,000. That should be done very sensibly depending on the situation and depending on the value of the number that we have. Alright, now let's see an example. Okay, now estimate 5,673 minus 436. Okay, now we see that 5673 is greater than 436. Okay, so I think that I am going to round it off to nearest tens, okay, because if I round it off to nearest 100, right, then 436 will become 0. You can see, to begin with, we round off to thousands. Suppose we round it off to, sorry, not rounding off to 100, we are rounding off to 1000. Suppose we are rounding this off to 1000. So 5673 rounded off to 1000 will give me 6000 and 436 rounded off to 1000 will give me 0, right? Because it is less than 501. So rounding off to 1000, it will give me 0. So the estimated difference is 6000, which makes no sense. And this is not reasonable estimate. So let's get to a closer estimate and let's try to rounding it off to nearest hundreds. So 5673 rounded off to nearest 100 will give me 5700. And 436 rounded off to nearest 100 will give me 400. So 5700 minus 400 will give me 5300. And this is a better and more meaningful estimate. Okay. So we have to be very careful in choosing to which nearest number we have to round the number off to. Okay. Right. Now to estimate products, let's see how do we estimate the products. How do we estimate a product? What is the estimate for 19 into 78? Okay. It is obvious that the product is less than 2000. Yes. Why? If we approximate 19 to the nearest tens, we get 20. And then approximate 78 to the nearest tens, then we get 80. Now 20 into 80 is 1600. So therefore, the value of 19 into 78 is less than 2000. Now look at 63 into 182. If we approximate both to the nearest 100, we get 100 into 200, that is 20,000. This is much larger than the actual product. So what do we do? So in this case, to get a more reasonable estimate, we try rounding it off to, we try rounding up 63 to the nearest 10. So instead of rounding off to the nearest 100, we will round this off to nearest 10 to get a more estimated product. So when we round off 63 to the nearest 10, we get 60, and we round off 182 to the nearest 10, we get 180. Now 60 into 180 is 10,800, and this is a good estimate, but it is not quick enough, right? Because we have to multiply this. We have to multiply 60 into 180. So basically we have numbers over here to multiply. If we now try approximating 63 to 60 and 182 to the nearest 100, that is 200, then we get 60 into 200, and this is 12,000. which is quick as well as good estimate of the product. This is also a good estimate because initially we were getting 10,800, now we are getting 12,000, which is also a good estimate. So in this case, in the product, we rounded off one number to the nearest 10 and the other number to the nearest 100. Now, what is the general rule? The general rule that we can make is therefore, round off each factor to its greatest place, then multiply the rounded off factors. Thus, in the above example, we rounded off 63 to tens and 182 to hundreds. So, you have to round off the number to the greatest place. If it was a 4-digit number, then round it off to 1000. If it was a 5-digit number, then round it off to if it was a 5-digit number, then round it off to 10,000. Okay. So, now estimate 81 into 479. So, the greatest place in 81 is 10. So, I am going to round it off to 10. So, 81 will be 80. And the greatest place for 479 is 100. So, we are going to round off 479 to the nearest 100. So, 479 to the nearest 100 will be 500. Okay, so 80 into 500 and this will give me 40,000, right? So 479 is rounded off to 500, rounding off to hundreds, and 81 is rounded off to 80, rounding off to tens. So the estimated product is 40,000. An important use of estimates for you will be to check your answers. Suppose you have done the multiplication of 37 into 1889 but are not sure about your answer. A quick and reasonable estimate of the product will be 40 into 2000, which is 80,000. If your answer is close to 80,000, it is probably right. On the other hand, if it is close to 8,000 or 8 lakh, something is surely wrong in your multiplication. So, same general rule may be followed by addition and subtraction of 2 or more numbers. So, now this is a general rule that and it has to be kept in mind that round off the number to its greatest place. Okay. So, this is very important and this has to be kept in mind that round off the number to its greatest place, right? So, if you round off the number to its greatest place and then perform addition, multiplication, subtraction or division, whichever mathematical operation you perform, you will get a quicker answer and you will get a good approximation, you will get a good estimate from your answer. Okay. So, now let's try out this question for more practice. Okay. Now, we have to estimate the following products. So, let's try and estimate the following products using the general rule of estimation. Okay, so we have to calculate 87 into 303. So, rounding off by general rule. So, let's round this off by general rule. So, this is a 2-digit number. So, rounding this off by general rule. So, I am rounding this off to the nearest 10. So, this is 90 into, this is a 3-digit number. So, rounding this off to nearest 100. So, this will become 90 into 300. Okay, so this is 9 into 3 is 27 and then 0, 0 and 0. Okay. Now, next one is 9 into 795. So, rounding this off. So, we have got rounding off by general rule. So, 9 will become 10 into 795 will become 800. So, this is 800 into 10, that is 8,000. Okay. So, next is 898 into 785. Okay. So, rounding off by general rule. Okay. So, 898, if I am going to round this off to the nearest, so basically this is, these are 3-digit numbers and these are very close to 1000. So, if I am going to round this off to 1000, we will simply get 1000 into 1000, that is 1,000,000,000. Okay. So, this is what we are going to get. But if we are going to round this off to 100 to get a closer estimation, then we will get 900 into, for closer estimation, we will get 900 into, this is 800. 9 into 8 is 72 and then 0, 0, 0, 0. Okay. Right. Now, last one is 958 into 387. Okay. So, let's rounding off. By general rule. Okay. So, 958 will become 1000 into 384 will become 400, rounding this off to nearest hundreds. So, this is going to become 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 zeros. Okay. So, this is what the answer is going to be. So, you have to take 5 more such problems and solve them. So, this is a homework activity for you. Take 5 more such examples and solve it on your own. Then you will be able to understand the estimate of the following products very easily. So, how to calculate the estimate or how to approximately calculate the product will become very easy for you.